Hey guys, in today's video, I want to share my first experience with the 2025 Babolat Pure Drive. And for you guys that don't know, I've been on a racket testing saga. To catch up, you can check out my latest video where I describe how my arm got destroyed. And the Babolat Pure Drive helped me to become pain-free. And I have to decide though whether I'm going to choose the Babolat Pure Drive 27-inch as my new racket, because for a long time I was a Pure Drive user, but I used the extended version. And after my play testing series, my racket preferences have completely shifted. And what I found when I went back to the Babolat Pure Drive Plus initially because of my arm pain is that while my serve and my backhand felt really good, I had a very difficult time controlling my forehand, and I think that's due to maneuverability issues with a longer frame. I have a lot of problems, for example, on a low forehand in the half court. I'm having a hard time controlling those balls and putting enough spin on them. And so part of this difficulty lies in the fact that a longer racket is less maneuverable. And it's not only that, I also find myself spraying my forehand quite a bit with the Babolat Pure Drive Plus. Now, the funny thing is that about a year ago, I didn't have those same issues regarding the Babolat Pure Drive Plus. So my preferences have changed and my forehand is suffering a lot. So I want to share my first experience with the 27-inch model of the Babolat Pure Drive. And I did test the 2025 Pure Drive Plus, and I did like that racket, but in that video I liked the 2021 version a little bit better. I found that it was a little bit more responsive, but come to find out, responsiveness is something that I for sure look for, especially with my arm issues, but I also want control. And I can tell you that in this match where I played against my former student Mikey, who you might be familiar with from a different video, he has a very uncomfortable playing style. He likes to slice a lot, even on his forehand, and he likes to bring me into the net and then lob me, and I struggle a lot. So he's a great practice partner for me. And I can tell you that on the serve, it feels very good. It feels better than the shift for sure. I'm getting good responsiveness. I'm also able to hit my slice serve quite fast. I'm able to kick the ball quite fast. Is it the same type of power as with the Plus? Maybe it's a tad less, but not a significant difference for it to be a concern. So I'm serving well with the Babolat Pure Drive, so that's good. My backhand feels a lot better compared to the shift. I had a lot of difficulties on my backhand with the shift. I wasn't getting enough power, and I found myself having to swing much faster than I'm comfortable with. So with the Pure Drive, my backhand feels better, but even more so than on the serve, I find that my two-handed backhand is way better with the extended Pure Drive racket. And generally, extended rackets are gonna be easier when it comes to power on both the one-handed backhand and the two-handed backhand. I will never forget when I first came to Murray State, my coach Mel Purcell was a former tour player, quarterfinalist at Wimbledon, highest ranking number 21 on the ATP tour, and he had played with old school rackets, and then of course he eventually shifted to more modern rackets, and he played when I first got to Murray with the Hyper Hammer Stretch. Mel hit his backhand with that racket better than he had in his entire career. And back then he was on the senior tour. Because if you think about it, a lot of players are weaker on the backhand side, and an extended frame is going to give you more responsiveness, more power. It's going to make your backhand more powerful with less effort. This is true for both the one-handed backhand and the two-handed backhand. Now, my two-handed backhand used to be very strong, but since I started teaching tennis full-time and stopped competing, and especially since I stopped playing tournaments, my left arm has gotten a lot weaker, and due to the lack of practice, my two-handed backhand now is my weakness where it used to be my strength. So there's a great lesson there that you have to continue to work on your strengths, because if you don't, they might eventually become a weakness. So lesson learned there, and I'm working really hard to get my backhand back to a decent level. And regarding rackets, I'm feeling a big difference with the Babolat Pure Drive Plus versus the 27-inch version on the backhand. So while this one does feel better on the backhand compared to the shift, I still have some work to do regarding my backhand. Now, when it comes to my forehand, and more significantly, the volley, I miss the Wilson shift very much, which was my racket of choice in the Finding a New Racket series. And never have I volleyed as well as I did with the Wilson shift. It is a phenomenal racket for the volley. And interestingly, my volleys with the Pure Drive have been horrendous. I am volleying very poorly. I'm hitting the forehand quite well. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. For sure, it's easier for me to make topspin. And just like the Pure Drive Plus, when the ball gets a little bit higher, this is my preference on the forehand. And this racket works phenomenally well. So I'm playing well with it. I'm not 100% committed to it because I got my hands on the Pure Drive 98 and it's a very interesting racket. I'm gonna post a review video where I compare the regular Pure Drive to the Pure Drive 98. So my current testing phase only involves 2 rackets. Don't worry, I'm gonna either play with the 27-inch regular Pure Drive or the 98. So look out for another racket video coming your way very shortly.